Bill Belichick and the Patriots front office is going out to help Mac Jones, and I am honestly very happy about it. See, when the Patriots picked Cole Strange on day one, my obvious reaction was first, who, and then why? And this is because when you look at Cole Strange, a projected second to third round offensive lineman, plus the fact that the Patriots needed linebacker and cornerback, more on that later, it seemed like a bad pick. But in reality, while the pick is still a reach, Cole Strange is providing that year one starter ability, and with a gaping hole at guard, Strange does technically make sense. And to some extent, the Tyquan Thornton pick also is very similar, it's just a little less egregious. Now, Tyquan Thornton was selected 50th overall by the Patriots after New England traded with Kansas City, the 54th overall and the 85th overall pick. And while some are going to say that New England reached for Thornton, seeing as he was a late day 2 or maybe early to mid day 3 player, I love everything about this pick. First, the number one thing that jumps out to me from Thornton is his speed. He is fast, like third fastest player in the combine kind of fast. He will beat you with his blazing speed, and he did so in college to the tune of 62 catches for 948 yards and 10 touchdowns in 2021 with the Baylor Bears. He averaged 15.7 yards per reception during his time with Baylor, and to me, Thornton seems like a receiver that I see playing more of a Z receiver role like Nelson Agholor, but potentially in a year or two, I could see him possibly replacing Devontae Parker as the X receiver, as that's where he was most seen in college. Now, this is also kind of unlikely when you look at his size, and I'll get to that in a second. But yeah, potentially, if Devontae Parker does leave in the next 2 years, then we might see Thornton replace him as the X receiver. He can catch the ball confidently away from his body, which is surprising when you consider he's a fast receiver, and he only had 3 drops in 2021. He's got solid leaping skills and can catch on the boundary, and his linear footwork will help him create separation. And so the pick for Thornton really seems like the prototypical replacement for Nelson Agholor, which is good. Not to mention that Mac Jones barely threw deep last year during his rookie year, and so Thornton is going to be able to add that speed and deep threat ability to give Mac Jones a much more reliable option. And so yeah, Thornton is a good pick, but then obviously we have to get into his downsides. Well, Thornton standing at 6'2" is not big. He only weighs 181 pounds, and he has one of the smaller set of hands in this class. This also means that he probably won't be winning any jump balls or 50-50 balls anytime soon. And so when I'm looking at Thornton, I'm thinking about where he could potentially grow to be, which is like a Tyreek Hill-esque player. I think that's really where your max is at that position. And I think that along with speed, Tyreek Hill brought the ability to be able to make those 50-50 ball catches, and that's something right now that Thornton is lacking, and I don't think that he is going to be able to get that ability. His release can easily be redirected and slowed, and his route running is also very basic and lacks the deception needed to fake out defenders. And going back to his frame, his weight is going to cause some injury concerns, as we've seen with other receivers at that same weight, and also his frame. I mean, just think about guys like John Ross, who, he was a very fast receiver, but he also dealt with a lot of leg injuries, a lot of hamstring injuries. And so that's something that you also have to note when you're thinking about a player that is like Thornton. And so, okay, New England may have reached a little bit for this pick, but I really like Tyquan Thornton. He provides speed never seen before on the Patriots offense and also has a great ability to catch in stride. If New England wants a guy that can win down the field, then Mac Jones is going to have a ton of fun throwing to Thornton. One last thing before I end this episode is I'm wondering who New England could have potentially taken, otherwise, other than Thornton. And, some people are saying George Pickens or Alec Pierce, who are receivers on the board, and right now I disagree. With the addition of Devontae Parker, New England didn't need another big-body X receiver. Now I'm also hoping that these guys don't end up turning into the next DK Metcalf or A.J. Brown, but still. Also, Sky Moore was another option, and while he had insane stats at Western Michigan, most of his targets came inside of 20 yards, and he wasn't as fast as Thornton. I believe he had a 4.41 40, and with his 5'9", 195-pound frame, that's a lot slower than you'd think. And so right now, here's the reality of the situation with this pick. Thornton is either going to be really good and become a star, or he's going to end up becoming a bust like John Ross. That's just simply the nature with these types of picks, with these types of really fast receivers. And so yeah, again, this is a good pick. But it's really going to come down to how New England coaches him up and how they utilize him on the offense, and whether they can utilize him to his full potential. Either way, thank you guys so much for listening, and I'll catch you guys later on the next episode. Peace out.